Hey guys, it's Nathan again, and I've been getting a lot of questions about how to manage the LinkedIn message extractor. So I'm just going to make a video today. We're going to go over the basics of how to actually use the message extractor, how it pulls messages from your LinkedIn message history, and then we're going to go into like some more advanced workflows in terms of like what is fully capable of. So we'll just start off with like an example profile. I'll just pull someone um, out of my message history. So yeah, just to explain what this does in the simplest way possible, it's going to go into a LinkedIn chat just like this one. Let's find someone who's actually responded to me. So we'll use this one as an example. And we just want his LinkedIn profile. And if there's a conversation history, we can choose to extract the whole thing. Or we can just choose to just take the first message. So it will give you the content of the actual message. It will tell you the time that he responded or she responded, but also on top of that, we can, this is how we would build out like reply-based logic for one, but we can also make some really advanced flows. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration of how this will actually look. I've got a space there, sorry about that. Run again. Cool. So we've got our response, and if you go into result object, then keep opening these up. So as we told it to extract two messages, this is what it has returned us. So we've got this is the author, so it's the person who sent the message. This is their LinkedIn profile, and this is the message that he sent me. This is the time he sent it. This is the URL of the conversation, and it's got his LinkedIn profile again. So again, we also have another message that he sent previously to that a couple of days before, 4 days before, 5 days, sorry. And so we have that information. So now what you can actually do is you could filter out like reply-based logic. So I'll give you a quick example of how to do that. So we would put in a router and we would say if condition result object messages author contains so we need to know the name of the account that we've sent from. So if it contains Nathan, for example, then we want to go and like mark that contact hasn't replied yet. We haven't got a response from him. So we could go and send like a follow-up message, for example, would be an example flow. So we could just go and send him another message. Or if the condition messages author does not contain Nathan, so it hasn't been sent from my account, then we know he's replied. And then, for example, like just to give you a quick example of what we can do here, like we could maybe create a Slack message, and I could send it to myself. And this is really useful if you're managing like hundreds of, or even like, 5 or 10 LinkedIn accounts. You don't really want to have to go through the process of logging into the account every day or logging into like multiple accounts and keeping up with all the messages. So if you can just send it directly into like a Slack channel or something like that, then we can just choose to send it here. And then under text, we would choose to send probably the author, and then we would put the message content. So like something like that, if that makes sense. And then that would send Rick Rails back, and then it would send message, whatever message he sent. So that would be like an easy example flow to do. Like you could also do it another way. For example, if you have like a CRM, if you have like HubSpot, or any CRM this would work with, like you could add a property to a lead. So I don't use HubSpot myself, but we would use the same flow, and you could add that message onto a lead as long as you've synced them over there already. So that would be how to sync over like new messages coming in. You could also store them like in a database, like whatever it is that you want to do. What I will actually do though is we can make a little bit of a more interesting automation. So we can add like, I can show you a very basic way to do this first actually. We can do like message sender. And after that, we'll actually add in like a machine learning model. So you can add that into your flow. So let's say, let me just add in my, in fact, it's not really needed for this demonstration. Cool. And then we can just clone this and pull this across. So as a very quick example, like if we're doing like sales outreach from LinkedIn and we're always using similar messages, you're going to find that you see like trends in responses, and it's going to usually fall into like one of 7 different categories in most cases, maybe more depending on your business, maybe less. So it's going to be, yes, I'm interested, interested but have questions, interested but not right now, maybe, not interested, or it's going to fall into like an other category. So what you can actually do is based on like keywords in a message, you could probably automate like a load of your you could build like an auto responder, right? So I can just clone these down here, and based on the content that is in that initial message, the one that we've received here, we can set up a filter. So we could do interested, and we would do messages, message content, and then you would do contains case insensitive, and it would like maybe they would say like something like, how do I get started? Yeah, but for example, there can be like loads of different responses, so that could all mean the same thing. So you need to add in like a load of these, and it's going to vary from one business, like depending on your outreach. So again, we can put in contains case insensitive. We could put like, how do I sign up? So the best thing to do, obviously I'm just giving like quite a simple basic demo. The best thing to do would actually be to go through like your LinkedIn messages and see the type of responses that you get. And every time you have a new one, you would just add it in, putting in another or rule. So it would be or message contains, yeah. Right, let's get started. It could be, yeah, there's loads of different things. So you could have like hundreds of different filters under the purely, yes, I'm interested to get started model. And then we could have like this one is like needs more information. And again, it'd be message contains case insensitive. The reason that we do case insensitive is because if they have like a capital or not, it's going to filter it out when really they're saying what we want them to. So this could be like, can you send more information? And then it could also be like a send more, and then we could have an and rule, and it could be information, if that makes sense. So these are both running independently, and then we could have another, like we can keep them going on separately, right? If that makes sense. So up here we can have like another or, and these are all separate instances, right? So I would love to hear more. So if this contains, can you send more information? I would like to hear more is within there, or it says if they say send more and also contains information in this message, then we're going to route it down to this path. And then again, like this just goes like on and on. So like you're going to want a number of different messages to be filtered down the different paths. If they say like for example, if message contains not interested, then we probably don't want to send them a message. We actually want to like mark them that they're not interested, right? So I hope that sort of comes together and makes sense. And then maybe like if they have a question that doesn't fall into any of these parameters, then it means that it needs like human attention, right? It means that our filtering system hasn't been able to pick it up, and we're going to need someone to go back and and respond to the message. So in that case, it could be sent over like to Slack or something like that. So I've just, for the purpose of this video, we've just set up 3 different filtering options. So we've got interested, has a question, needs more information, and not interested. So then what you would do is under this template, we would say like, hi, first name, great. Here's your discount code. And it can be just like get started, something like that. So for example, if we sent out like an automated message that said, hi, I was wondering if you were interested in website plugins, we'd be happy to offer you a 90-day free trial for you and your team. Just let me know and I'll set you up with a discount code. And then they say either like, how do I get started? How do I sign up? We could even have like another oral saying like, I'm interested. Sorry, it should be contains I'm interested. Then they're going to be filtered down this route and they're immediately going to get a message saying, hi, first name, great, you can sign up via this link. Here's your 90-day discount code. And then you just put like a link there. So that's just a little like example. And then if they say like, hi, I need more information, we can put like, hi, like, so whatever your product's related to, you want to push them over like to wherever you've got information stored. So we could do like, sure, here's a link to our explain the video. In fact, you don't even need a link. You can just embed it here, https youtube.com/. So something like that, yeah. And so if they're asking for more information, you're just going to send that over to them. If they have like, you could even put like, what about pricing? You could have another filtering option. So like, if you understand sort of what I'm getting at here, you can just constantly build on top of this. So the type of questions that you receive are going to be different to me. So I'm using quite generic messages here. But you can sort of train this. It is essentially a chatbot to respond to any messages that you receive frequently within your outreach. And then if it's not able to be picked up in any of these, so you would need to do if does not contain any of these parameters, then send over the message in like Slack or something like we spoke about previously. So yeah, that is how like you would make a chatbot, and like it would take you a little while to like train it. I think you probably need to spend a few hours here going through your message history to add in a lot of different filtering options. But I mean, technically, you should be able to actually automate about 80% of the responses that you receive, because in general, they're all going to be like classified under specific keywords. So this is just a really good way to automate your responses, particularly as like you scale out your campaign. So I think that's really interesting. Now I will actually show you how we can go and add in a artificial intelligence module within Integromat. So we're going to use a tool called Monkey Learn. And Monkey Learn, they have a number of different APIs for analyzing responses, and like a number of other APIs actually as well for like natural language processing and various different other tools. So this is one that I was actually playing around with, and it's called Outbound Sales Response Classifier. So as you can see, it's going to say like, this is just some template text, and then they've returned it as interested. They're 49.3% confident that this person is interested. So what we will do is copy this, and we're going to add in an HTTP module. And this is a post request. Cool. And then we need authorization. So Monkey Learn have a like completely free plan as well, which is pretty good. And then all we're going to do is copy. Where's our example? So in general, you're always going to want to choose application JSON. And then if we come here, we should be able to, sometimes these get manipulated when you copy them, so I'm just going to replace them. And then what we would do is delete that, go back into our result object, and we would put in the message, and then it's going to actually analyze the data that we received from our message. So if we save that, valid scheduling. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was using this module previously, so I think it's interfering somehow. So that's going to go and extract the same guy's messages. So this line 3. Okay, so to use the this module, what we're going to do is just create JSON. Sorry, we're going to do aggregated JSON. No. So to use this module, all we are going to do is just transform to JSON. We'll get the message out of here, and then if we come over, we'll delete this and delete your brackets, because this is actually going to attach them automatically, because it's going to be rendered as a JSON string. Hit save and then run. Cool. So that has now returned us that this person is interested. Confidence score is level 1. So instead, what we can do is change our, let's just clean up this flow a little bit. We can instead, or we could also add at the bottom, or actually it's going to be data classifications. So confidence score is greater than, I don't like 0.75, for example, and classification tag name contains interested. So that means that this machine learning module has told us that it's 75% confident. Obviously, you can change that to whatever you want. You can put a minimum of like 80% confident or whatever number you want it to be that that person is interested in what you've proposed. So play around with it yourself, and then you could also do not interested, and it will return a different response. Um, it can say what are the different responses? I think it has various different types of responses. Like it can be neutral and it can also be not interested. So you can set up your various different filtering options on that. But now that's like a little bit of a more advanced workflow. So we went through the simple stuff to start with, and now technically you do have a LinkedIn chatbot, a simple one albeit, but you can continuously add to it and handle pretty much all of your LinkedIn responses automatically using a mixture of machine learning and your own classifications that you've added in. So I hope that's like shed some light onto like what you can do and how the message extractor works. What you can also do, I was getting this question quite a lot, is if you want to run through all of the messages that are returned in the history, you're going to need to use an iterator, which is going to split all of the messages and run them through individually. So you would click this messages here, and then instead of running on this, we're going to run on the response from the iterator, if that makes sense. And I would also set up the filtering earlier on that the author does not contain Nathan, because the messages are coming from my account, from Nathan, and I need to make sure that these are actual responses that from real people that we're going to analyze. So as long as the response isn't from me, then it will continue past this point and it will run through the automation. So yeah, I hope that all makes sense and gives you some an idea of how you can build this. As I built this very quickly, and just to give you like a quick example, I may continue building on this. I had been looking at implementing a lot of like chatbots and things like that, and I've built out a few already. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. For any more like videos that you want to see on like automations and stuff, like I'm putting quite a lot of effort into pushing out content. So feel free to leave a comment if there's any questions and so on. Also, just let me know. Yeah, thank you for watching.